Assalamu alaikum, peace is Nyla, Coach Nyla.
Assalamu alaikum, peace is Fatimah, Coach Fatimah.
And yes, we are co-wives and co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and OutstandingPersonalRelationships.com. So, yeah, in this video, we are going to talk about bonding. The month of August for RMIC, for this month, we are talking about bonding. That's our, our theme. And if you're not in our RMIC, why not? I'm thinking maybe you don't know. I don't know. However, if you don't, if you want to find out what it's about, make sure you are going to OutstandingPersonalRelationships.com/RM for Relationship Mastery. Because what RMIC stands for Relationship Mastery Inner Circle. You want to be part of the inner circle, okay? So we're talking about bonding, and we're talking about bonding with your co-wife. If you're in polygyny, if you have co-wife, and if you're not in polygyny, if you don't have co-wife, then bonding with other women.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
and we don't think so, because I think we kind of buy into this thing where we need to compete, and we do not, and it's something that you have to reject. Yeah, because then it sets you up for this, this competition and this continuous competitiveness that is so not necessary, And we also talk about that in our True Queens course. Indeed. And one of those modules is fixing each other's crown. And I think we need to get back to basics with that, celebrating women and bonding with other women. And I think, did you make a post about bonding with yourself too? Yeah. And that's one of the main things, because we got to do that first. Yes. Before we can, before we can bond with others, we got to know, like, what does that look like? Oh, somebody made a comment too that's like, I bond with myself very well. And I was like, that's awesome, because some of us don't. Right. Some of us don't want to be with ourselves. And this is how you can actually kind of tell if you don't. Not saying that that you just don't like yourself. We're not saying that part, but we're saying that sometimes it's difficult to be in the space with yourself. And how you will realize this is that if you always need people around you, and not that because it's somebody you want to bond with or anything like that, it's just that it's that distraction, so you have this distraction, so you just want people around because they keep you from being alone, alone with yourself, alone with your thoughts and these different things. So first and foremost, like my co-wife said, learn how to bond with yourself. Know how to do that. Know how to be able to be happy with you. Know how to be at peace with yourself. At peace with your thoughts. Yeah, because when you're alone with it, when you're with other people, what you're looking for is for them to soothe you. So we have to learn how to self-soothe, just like you would a baby. A baby longs to have people and attention and hugs and praise. But we have to learn how to soothe ourselves or self-soothe and move forward from that type of thinking, because we have it in us. It's just a matter of pulling it forward. Exactly. Because we just stuff that stuff down, and then we go, well, I can't. I don't have the ability. I don't know really how to. That's a different conversation, because you can learn how, but bringing and knowing that it's in there is valuable. So true. It's valuable, because we weren't set out to be coaches for polygyny or not necessarily relationships. Like, that's not our deepest passion. We do love what we do, but there's so many other things we want to accomplish as well. But we've learned that we're those, we're like those unintentional heroes. Humbly we are, but yeah, we got to learn how to soothe ourselves and know that it's in there and we can do it. Because when you do that, you can be able to be confident enough, and we're definitely going to talk about confidence, being confident enough to say, you know what, this is the interesting part, being confident enough to say that I have flaws, being confident enough to say that I'm insecure, that I have these insecurities about myself. And when you take the perfectionism out of your life and out of your vocabulary, out of your thoughts, you can become human. So you can be able to bond more with people, because you're not trying to be the perfectionist, Miss Perfect.
So that's one of the things that I learned. A couple of things that I don't have to be Miss Perfect, and that, you know, everybody is not thinking about you the way you think that they're thinking about you.
Right.
You know,
if they're thinking about you
at all, right?
They might not even be thinking about that. Have you ever looked at somebody and you're thinking about something completely different, and your mind is just stuck, and you're like, why are they staring at me?
Right.
Like, they might not even be conscious that they're doing that, you know? So it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
you know?
It is. It's definitely like that, because it gets to the point where when we're so serious with ourselves and we're so into the things that we are doing wrong or things that we want to improve, and we're so hard on ourselves with it, like, okay, I'm not this way. I don't have the life that I want yet. But they don't even say yet. Like, the times that we didn't even say yet.
They say period.
Which, like, we don't have the life. I don't have the life that I want. I'm not where I need to be. And then it gets to the point where these insecurities creep up, and these insecurities create this barrier for you to create bonds with other people, because you're so hard on yourself that you're expecting people to expect you to be a certain way. And that was one of the things that I learned from a really good friend years ago, that told me that, you know what, and this is why I say that you could destroy the bond, or you could create a barrier in your bonding process, because I was going through some heavy stuff in my life. During this time, I was not making the money that I wanted to make. I wasn't living where I wanted to live. It was a lot of different stuff, but I was in this business, and the people who were around me, or the two people who were like friends of mine, they were also, we called them workout partners. You know, these were the people that, you know, hold you accountable and all that other good stuff. However, I was in the business longer than them, so I felt like I needed to be at this particular level.
The pressure was on.
Right. They needed to see me as the person who know it all, who all that other stuff. So this was my mentality, though. This wasn't something that they told me. This was what I felt. This was something that I did. Exactly. So when I was going through the stuff, what I decided to do, or when I was going through the stuff, I didn't tell them I was going through the stuff. And then eventually my cell phone was disconnected. So I couldn't even communicate with them like I usually communicate with them. So my phone was disconnected, and I just didn't connect with them until my phone got reconnected. One was really upset with me. Actually even left a message, on my Google Voice, because I had a Google Voice that I could always check, but I forgot about it because it was fairly new to me, but it was connected with my cell phone. And everybody had the number to the Google Voice, but they didn't have the number to the direct cell phone. So she didn't know that my phone was disconnected, because she was still able to reach me through this Google Voice, or you know what I'm saying? So she left this message, and I was trying to reach her, and didn't hear the message till months later, or whatever. So she was like, and I'm wondering why she's not responding. I was like, well, okay, maybe she's doing these other things or whatever. But I finally heard the message. And the message was it was deep, because she was like, I thought we were friends. And he was like, friends don't care about what your living situation is. Friends don't care about the money you don't have, the level you are, whatever. That's not going to stop you from being a friend, right? And she's like, what hurt me is that you didn't see me as a friend enough to come to me when you were in trouble, or when you were in need, or when you needed somebody to talk to. I saw you as a friend, but you didn't see me as that friend. You didn't trust me enough to be a friend, you know, to you. I was like, oh, my heart.
She's like,
so I said, wow, that's true. So I called her back, and I was like, I'm just getting your message. And I left a message to her. So she was actually avoiding my calls, because she called me back after I left that message. Like, I'm just seeing it. My phone was disconnected. This is what happened. And she was like, you should have just told us. You should have just told me. I would not have judged you any type of way. You put that standard on yourself. I did not. You were a friend to me. You weren't a person that I looked at as, she have to have it all. She had to be. I know this business, you know, and business is ups and downs. We know these things. Absolutely. You know, you can have a feast or famine time. It's what it is. And it was like, wow. that was really deep. And that was a lesson that I learned in stop taking yourself so serious and really bond with other people. Don't sit there and act like you have to be Miss Perfect, that you have to know it all, because if you're doing that to yourself, you are creating those barriers, and you can actually disrupt, destroy, or even prevent a possible friendship that can help you out of the situations and this amazing bond that you can have. And we still have this really great bond, even though we don't talk to each other every day. But when we do talk to each other, it's like, you know, like we didn't miss, like we didn't miss a beat, we didn't miss a step. And, you know, you can feel that love and that support there. So, yeah, and I could have totally messed that up because I was so, you know, insecure. Seriously.
You were too busy assassinating your own character to see that you had a really good friend there waiting for you.
And I was insecure. The thing was, people don't get that you can, that is a form of insecurity where you feel like you have to be this certain type of way. And so you hide your flaws, you know, you hide your flaws. So you let your ego feed that. So you feed your ego like, oh yeah, no, I'm good, you know, whatever. I don't want nobody to know this about me because they gonna think this other way. But nobody said that they were gonna think that other way. You put that on yourself.
And you put it on them.
And you put it on them, right. Like you didn't even give them a chance. And that's what she pretty much told me, like, you didn't even give me a chance. You know, so, and I was like, oh, okay. Could you give me another chance to be your friend?
Give me, girl.
That was really deep, and that means that you really, you know.
And it took courage to tell somebody that. Oh, yeah. That was the realest thing she could have done to say. You could have let us know. I'm here. Yeah. Like, how many people are willing to, shout out to her, but how many people are willing to say, you should have let me know because I didn't feel that way? It takes a lot of courage.
That's the thing with co-wives, y'all. Seriously, we never know that. You know, you've seen some stuff. Heard some stuff. Yeah, you never know that it could be. You know, your co-wife is probably just feeling insecure. You know what I'm saying, or that she don't know, not even feeling insecure, but maybe just confused and like, okay, should I reach out? Should I not reach out? Should I do these things? So it's these type of things that we let get in our way of our bond, you know, our bonding with each other.
Time doing this stuff. We waste so many years and so much time doing that with each other. I did it myself. I was like, I just be quiet because apparently I'm not being listened to around these parts, so I'm just gonna shut up. And when you do that and you don't sit down and kind of compare notes and go, well, this is what I've been ostracized about. Oh, me too. I mean, you have no idea. And we know mutual co-wives. We have friends that are co-wives. And one set of sisters that we know that are co-wives, one was like, well, I don't know if I should talk to her. They're both Niqabis. I don't know if I should talk to her. Well, I don't know if I should talk to her. Well, then why don't y'all just talk? Right. You know, and they became close ultimately. And it was just because one didn't kind of want to, both introverts. One didn't want to say hi first. You know, it's like the boys are on this side of the dance and the girls are on this side. Nobody wants to come in the middle and say, hey, you want to dance? You know? Yeah, they were scared of the rejection, but they found out that both of them are very gracious, you know, very open people, and that's the beauty of that particular bond that those two have. So just struck up a conversation and went from there.
Sometimes you got to realize that, you know, everybody's not thinking the way you're thinking about the stuff. Everybody is not looking at it in a negative way, and you have to put yourself out there in order to start the bonding process.
And put your best foot forward. Right. Put your best foot forward.
And be authentic and be you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be authentic, be you. Be vulnerable in a point of that you saying, this is who I am, flaws and all. And you know, I'm working on being a better me every day because that's what I do. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. But it's like I'm working on being me. But this is where I'm at. This is what I look like. This is what I look like. So you know, we can be friends or not, but this is me. You know, type of thing. And I think sometimes we are too busy trying to impress people instead of just saying, you know what, I want to interact and connect. We're too busy trying to impress instead of connect. And connection is a whole other level of the game than trying to impress somebody.
It's so true, because we actually had our family meeting. We have it once a week, and I have two friends that have some incredible challenges that they're going through within their family and in their personal life. And we always say how we feel at our meetings from 1 to 10. And I'm usually somewhere resting in a 7 or an 8, you know. And that day I'm like, I'm a 4.
Yeah.
I don't care if somebody else is a 10. I don't care if somebody else is a 1. I don't care. Today I'm 4. Yeah. Because I've been upset for 3 days, just a wreck for 3 days, and I'm a 4 today. And that didn't mean I was a 4 the entire day, because I ended up being a 10 later on. But I'm like, I'm not gonna act like I'm an 8 and my face look like a 4, my energy's a 4. Yeah. Our husband was sitting there, I'm not gonna front and act like I'm 8 to impress him or get, you know, brownie points. I quit trying to collect brownie points from him years ago. So, you know, we're grown, you know. So I'm like, if I'm not having a good day and he is, great. I'm happy for anybody who's at a 10 and I'm at a 4, but I'm not gonna fake or be out here fraud and acting like my energy is a 10 when clearly it wasn't. Yeah. And that's okay. It's stuff like that that really does build us. Oh, yeah. When we see others go through things and we go, okay, you're grateful that you're not going through that, but at the same time, if someone that's close to me is going through something, I tend to take on their pain. And that day was just a really, really terrible night before that. I mean, it just was a train wreck. And I said, I'm going to sit in my 4 right now, because that's how I feel. Yeah. You know, my kids are older and they're adult women, and they were like, you know what, I know, I'm glad you said you were a 4 and not a 9, because Abu was there. I would never, because that's how I felt. And they can do nothing with me if I said anything different, because then it's going to be like, well, she knows she need to quit telling that tale, because she's definitely not a 10 right now. I know my mama, you know. You know, so that's so true. Just be who you are. Yes. I talk to the people that want to talk to me. I don't sit around people that don't want to talk. I'll move. So, you know what I mean? Because that's just real. If people don't want to talk to us, they don't want to be around us, they don't want to be affiliated with us, great. Let's keep it gangster and let's keep it moving, because we don't have to fake. And this is who we are. And I always tell people, Nyla might be for everybody. Fatimah is not. Snow White Maleficent. Sure, I'm like, no, I ain't for everybody. I realize that people think that my niceness is phony. I'm like, it's not. But I had to learn. But I learned that I had to be okay with that. You know, I had to be okay, because I'm like, I'm trying to be this for everybody, because people think, and I'm like, no, I'm not this, I'm not phony, it's me, like me. Yeah, that's and so it got to the point where it's like, because my daughter, she'll be 25 soon, and I'll just say she's 25. But I was with her day before yesterday, and we were in the car. We were on like a 45-minute car ride together, and she was like, you know what? She was like, you cannot fake how Sister Nyla is. You just cannot. That's not something that you can conjure up, come up with on a fly. You can't just overnight like to, you know, sing songs and line dance and karaoke and, you know, make, you know, like these cute little kids. Just like, you just can't. It's impossible. But some people would assume, you know, and I'm like, I had to even tell myself, I said, you know what, she might just be
Maybe she's just rare. It's so crazy, and I want to be. Like, I want to be happy. Like, I'm like, when I get stressed out, I know I'm in this space.
That's not your jam.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I'm in this space, and I'd be like, dude, I don't like this. I need to change this. I hate this space. But that's the thing, being okay with who you actually are, and no matter what people got to say, and you don't have to prove yourself to nobody. Be authentic. That's what we keep talking about. We're talking about being authentic. When my co-wife was feeling that way that day, she had every right to feel how she felt. Don't force nobody. You know, nobody gonna force her to feel any other way. Now, yes, we'll sit there and say, hey, you okay? You need anything? Let me know. However, she has to be able to say, you know what? Okay, I went through this. I'm good. Now what? Now I'm going to move out of this. Can't nobody force you to do that, you know, and you can't make a person do that, you know, so, and a person can't make you do that. So when it comes to, even I think when it comes to us with Bonnie, I know how she felt. And I know that when she's feeling a certain way, I'm like, I can say, hey, you need anything? Or, you know, what's the deal? And there was times we were even giving the rest of the gifts for Eid, and she had to sit off to the side, which was fine because it wasn't nobody feeling any type of way about it. It's like she has to take her time. And later on in the day, you know, certain things, I was just like, okay, I did this and this was great and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, she's getting better. Yeah. But she needed to have her space. Yeah.
Nobody I had too many friends crying on the phone.
Right.
And
nobody
one trying to get rid of her husband and escape him. And I got one that got a cancer scare. One the son is in a coma. I mean, just, it's just, and they were all talking to me for the past 3 days. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I had one text going from one and one from another. It was like this. And it's just one heartache after another heartache after another heartache after, and it just consumed me. And I'm like, and I'll tell our husband in a minute, I got a headache. I ain't slept all night. I'm tired. I don't want to talk. You know, because ENFPs are the most introverted extrovert of all 16 person types. So they said we'll self-isolate like an introvert, even though we're not introverted people, but we'll go, leave in the chat. And I will get up and leave because I have to process emotion. I can't, it's like I haven't been able to focus because I have carried everybody else's stuff. So that's true. I do that, but part of bonding with people is knowing when they need time. Yeah, that's that part. You've been authentic, and people know this is the person you are. Yeah, that's why you have. Yes, it's not always easy because you know people see that, and you attract these people, and it makes it. You're attractive though, but sometimes you're attracting when they're going through their stuff. They're coming to you, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that that's that bond. Like she has these bonds with these women, these sisters, because of this authenticity that she has. They know what it is. And they also know like, okay, you know what? Right now is not the good time, you know, the best time. So I'll talk to her a little bit later. Yeah, because sometimes my head is somewhere else. You know, it's like you're in a room and then your mind is somewhere else. It's that thing sometimes for me. And sometimes, you know, my co-ed has littles and I have more bigs than littles now. And we were doing some content creation and the littles just went and just like invaded and like infiltrated her space like and they were like, oh me, and she was like, what? I'm trying to do something. I said, go away, go play somewhere. You know, leave your mother alone because now's not the time, little ones. You know, you kind of gotta go. You guys go play, find something to dig up, go do something. Because I'm like, she's being invaded while trying to do something else that was time sensitive. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys have to go. Because the window, I just could see her whole, she just, you know, bored. Like, get the kids out of here. So that's part of bonding too, knowing when to support someone else. Yeah. Is part of bonding, even if you know they could probably handle the kids coming and doing, but they don't have to. So yeah, you guys go find something else to do. Give your mom a break because it's just they stalk her life. I just them three little boys just they see her and it's like, want their mama, and I get it, but I also get I need to walk. I need to go. I need to. I'm not coming. I'm staying home. Saturdays are her personal. Self-care day. Everybody in the entire family knows it. So we're very conscious about going, okay, we're not going to do stuff on a Saturday because remember, self-care day. And that's the part. It's like being authentic, being vulnerable, letting these things be known because you don't have to be Superwoman. You don't have to be on all the time. Not all the time. No, you don't. It's okay. You're going to burn out. Yes, it's okay. We are a work in progress, and we are on our own personal journey. Once we know that, and once we keep that in mind, it allows us to free ourselves from a lot of the trials and the different
expectations that we put on ourselves. And those things, like I said, those things that can create a barrier in your bonding process. So a couple of things that we talked about, just to recap, make sure that you're being authentic. You know, make sure that, you know, you are taking that time out for you. Make sure you are working on bonding with yourself first and foremost. That part. And just, make sure you continue to realize that you are a work in progress. You don't have to be perfect. And don't let your perfectionism come in between your bonding with yourself and bonding with other people as well.
Well said. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, our theme for this month is bonding, and we will be talking about that more in the future, soon in the future.
Right. So if you guys have not, and we are talking about it in our RMIC, our Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, we're going live with our RMIC members on this topic this month of August. So make sure you are, if you are not familiar, make sure you go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM for relationship mastery, and make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that bell, you know, so you can be notified every time we go live, every time we upload a new video. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the RMIC. We look forward to seeing you guys in the group and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, check out our podcast.
Yes, check it out. Candid Co-Wife Conversations. And you can get that at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/CCC podcast. So make sure you are constantly practicing GOC, that you are growing intentionally, that you are loving fearlessly, and you are connecting at a higher level every single day. Inshallah, God willing, we'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.